In poll after poll, the number one issue on people's minds is taxes. Westchester County is among the highest property taxed counties in the nation. When Democrat George Latimer takes office as county executive in January, keeping taxes in line could be among his biggest challenges. Rich just sat down with Journal News Tax Watch columnist David McKay Wilson to talk about what we can expect from Latimer.
As we look forward to what the next 4 years may bring, I want to read a quote from your piece here and explain this. You said, while Latimer's first budget won't be unveiled until a year from now, one thing is certain, don't expect 4 more zeros. What do you mean by that?
4 more years of zero increase in the county property tax levy. That's tapped out, really. We've gone 7 years without a tax increase. You have employees, 4,000 employees in the county government who are all on expired contracts. It's just not sustainable for that to go on.
For that, certainly. But then there's other ways somebody could read that, which is Latimer's got a vision thing. Whether people like it or not, we'll find out, but he wants to do certain things and he thinks government has a role in it, so there'll be spending. The other is, he alleged certainly throughout the campaign trail, he wasn't alone, that there was a shell game going on, if you will, that borrowing from your pension, et cetera, to keep the property taxes flat, that was not a sustainable plan here, and at least the numbers will be more transparent. I know in the piece you talk about asking the state controller here to audit the books of Westchester. Which one is it more of? That he wants to grow what Westchester does, or that he wants to at least make the pot right and keep the numbers honest?
I think there's a little bit of both. I think he actually believes in government as a force for good in society. He believes in a regional government.
Yep.
How that translates into the county workforce. The county workforce is down 20% during Astorino's time. So in certain departments, like the planning department, it's just a shadow of its former self. So whether he decides to build up the planning department more, puts more people back into parks, invests more into parks, it's all going to see how it shakes out. But he doesn't get to do his budget for a year. Now we have Rob Astorino's 2018 budget, which we're going to get next week, which will include $30 million from the airport deal.
And that's the elephant in the room here. What do you think? And Rob, knowing that he's on the way out, he's already announced that he's not going to be running for governor next year. Not that that's revelatory, I grant you, but still, does he work with Latimer? Is Latimer just the bystander and basically inherit whatever comes down the pike? What's your understanding as to the outgoing and incoming administrations? What voice, if any, the new guys are going to have?
Well, he's going to be around. He did campaign against the airport deal.
Yep.
He was against the deal. That's going to be in the budget. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this lame duck legislature to approve that in this within a month. Whether that happens, that's a very heavy lift for them when they haven't even discussed it, basically. This whole concept.
Well, and that's replete throughout this, isn't it, David, that you have not just Rob, but in the legislature itself, you have outgoing folks here.
Sure.
So what will be basically their final and arguably most critical decision? Do they go quietly into the good night, or do they figure they got nothing to lose, they're going to do what they promised?
Well, the thing with the airport deal is you do need 12 votes. You need all of the Democrats.
It's going to be hard to get.
It's going to be very hard to get to 12 on that, especially when you have the guy coming in who says, "Look, I don't like this. If we're going to even consider it, let's at least have a discussion with the public about it. Let's discuss the pros and cons of it."
The big question that everyone's sitting at home watching is saying, okay, Latimer says don't expect 4 more zeros. What does it mean for my property taxes? Do you have any sense what we're talking about and how much the math will change for folks? Because obviously Westchester, one of the most highly taxed counties in the country here, how much will it change? Marginally here or perceptively?
Marginally. You have to understand that the county taxes is only 15% of your tax, 15 to 18% of your tax bill. So if the county taxes go up 3%, 5%, 2%, it could be $100.
You mentioned the airport being one of the big items we're going to see what does or doesn't happen. What else should people look out for in the next budget?
Well, money for raises for the county unions. We have 8 unions.
And there's a rumor, as you report in here, that there's been some tacit agreements already in place. Latimer even referenced that as well. What do you hear here? Because it's really, what, 8 decent-sized unions,
There's 8
CSEA being
unions.
the biggest one?
CSEA being that's the biggest nut. Now, there's no agreement with CSEA.
You're talking about at least 3,000 members,
3,000.
right?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Now, CSEA endorsed Latimer, so they're hoping that they'll get a better deal
I think
from
they're more
him.
than they're hoping, they're expecting.
Yeah, a better deal from
Yeah.
him. Now, 2 of the unions that endorsed Astorino, at least Latimer said he had heard that they'd reached some kind of tentative deals with the county police and Teamsters, Local 456.
Yep.
So we'll see if that's part of the budget deal. But these union contracts could mean a good deal of money.
It's going to be fascinating what this final budget will and won't have in it. But as I say, we'll see. David, as always, great talking to you.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
We'll take a break. Up next, your Hudson Valley headlines.